everyone, and welcome to another episode of Public Praise TV. On today's episode, we have author and health guru Stanley Porter talking about his new book, The Wait Is Over. And for our artist spotlight, we have Shanell Alyssa. So stick right there, grab some popcorn, and enjoy this episode of Public Praise TV. Hello again and welcome back to Public Praise TV. I am here with co-author Stanley Porter. How are you today?
Doing well, thank you.
Awesome. We're going to talk about your book, The Wait Is Over. And you collaborated with Nikisha Nunn. Tell us about the book.
Well, as you probably see, it's called The Wait Is Over, so it has multiple meanings.
Yes.
So the very first thing is physical weight, okay? Nikisha Nunn is a personal trainer out of Dallas, Texas. And I'll get into very briefly how I got into that whole thing about personal training. But physical weight often is symptomatic of some deeper issues for many people. So people many times engage in emotional eating, or there might be some trauma, that they're going through, and the eating is the manifestation of those kinds of things. So the wait is over is not just a declaration about physical weight, but it's also encouraging people to think deeper as well. So we're talking not just mental issues, but spiritual issues as well.
Wow. So you just discussed about strongholds with weight. Have you had a similar situation that you wanted to share?
Personally?
Yes.
Well, this might be a good opportunity to explain how I got into this whole thing and what this all means to me, because most people recall me as being pretty physically fit. I was always into martial arts and, went to the gym at least 3 or 4 times a week. I'm pretty active as well, so I definitely wasn't a sedentary dude. I was a school teacher, minister, so I'm running across a stage or I'm running across a classroom, running across the street to catch a bus. But a couple of years ago, I was in a car accident and a guy rear-ended me, totals the car. And so for the first time in my life, I'm laid up with a concussion. So the doctor's orders are, you need to be home for 6 months, total rest, no movement, can't go to martial arts, can't go to the gym. So the first time in my life, I'm sedentary. I can't move like I want to. Now I hadn't changed my nutrition, my diet, so it caught up with me. So I gained some weight, and the really alarming thing for me was when the hospital called and they said, we need you to come in, your labs have come back. And they showed me what my normal cholesterol reading should have been. The triglyceride panel should have been about 140 milliliters. Mine was 1,460.
Ooh.
And here I am, had never gotten any kind of bad report from a hospital. And they were saying, you're a stroke or a heart attack waiting to happen, and we need to get you on medication as soon as possible just to bring these levels down, and then we can talk about what else to do. So I was just very kind of shaken up by that, and I don't know if skeptical is the right word, but I just hesitant to jump into being medicated. And so I, through a series of events, connected with Nikisha, and come to find out that she was formerly obese, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and she, she professes, a solid prayer life, solid research, and teaming up with trainers, was able to get herself in a position where she didn't have to take medication. So she says to me, just give me 6 months to work with you. And if at the end of that you have to take the meds, so be it. But let's just see what God does and what we can do together. And thankfully, at the end of 6 months, I was cleared of having to take medication. So that's my personal story in terms of the wait is over. Just that journey to knock off the pounds I needed to get out of my life so that my levels could be normal again.
Now, you spoke about collaborating with Nikisha and getting you back on track, and you talked about faith in that journey. How does fitness and faith intertwine? And I'm interested in this because usually after church we're having a big Sunday dinner and the church cookout and the fish fries. So how do we intertwine the two?
Well, I mean, I think on a most basic level, if we think about our bodies as temples and that we have to take care of our temples, and they're not our own. When we think about eating, we're thinking about satisfying our own hunger or quenching our own thirst. And for for many of us in those moments, we're not thinking about the bigger picture. Like, why am I here? What is this body supposed to be used for? What is coming up tomorrow that this body needs to function well for? And it could be a variety of things that we know fall into a ministry category. Let's start basically with at home, to be available for as many years as we can be for our spouses and our children. We can talk about for church work, which falls in the category of ministry. And we could talk about just being an example in our communities. So often when we're eating, we're not thinking about that whole thing and what that food might do to us that impacts the bigger picture. We're just hungry, okay? And so I think on that basic level, if we, think about the big picture of what our bodies are here for and what they're supposed to be used for, I think that's the beginning of the conversation. I think as well, often people think healthy living in a physical sense is only about eating and exercise, but it's not. You've got, and I'm tying it to the spiritual piece and the faith piece. Going back to what I said earlier about emotional issues, let's just take an example of something like stress, which has a very real biological impact or physiological impact, which, and the reality is that stress releases cortisol, a stress hormone, which is a fat producing hormone. And so when we talk about ways to relieve stress, there's been lots of scientific research. One of the things that has been, kind of verified, among other things, is that faith helps people relax, faith activities. So we're talking about whether it's going to church, whether it's having a solid prayer life. And in one particular study, I'm trying to remember the doctor's name, but he comes out of a Christian university, and he says for people who even practice faith in the comfort of their own homes, that they tend to have healthier lives than those who have no faith practices at all. So you can look at it that way in terms of, being connected to God, reading your word, praying, and practicing it at home. See, there's a difference between going to church, hearing the word, and enjoying that expression of that outward expression of your faith and that fellowship and that community. The key is for those who leave that setting and practice their faith in their everyday lives, they tend to have lower stress levels and the ability to cope with stress more than others.
That's awesome. It sounds like you have a really holistic approach in your book, and that's well appreciated. I have one final question for you, my signature question. Why are you proud to proclaim and never ashamed?
Well, I'm proud to proclaim, Jesus Christ, because honestly, I can truly say this, that any good thing that has happened in my life has been the result of God, and I'm aware of that. There's a scripture that says every good gift comes from above, but there's a difference between kind of reading that and actually personally knowing that the gifts in your life and the good things that have happened actually do come from. I'm serious. I mean, God has opened so many doors for me, and to kind of keep the story short or my answer brief, it's who I am. So if you look at my life, the tapestry of my life, you can't miss God in the details. So I have no choice but to proclaim. This isn't something that I have to think about. It just is who I am. If every aspect of my life, whether it was how I got into teaching, I taught in Boston Public Schools for 9 years, that was God. And another day I can explain that story. It was all Him. How I became a worship pastor out in Revere for 3 years at Eagle Heights Church. That was God. I didn't even ask for this stuff. Even after I left the school system, I was walking down the street. I resigned because God told me to go into ministry, and I had no idea where I was going. I just knew I couldn't stay there. Right after I handed in my resignation letter, I'm walking to the T station, not knowing what the next step is. A woman is walking the other way and says, "Brother, do you need a job?" See what I'm saying? So every aspect, everything in my life, you look at the tapestry, God is in the details. I have no choice but to proclaim it.
That's awesome. Thank you, Stanley, for coming by. Once again, this is Stanley Porter, and the book is The Wait Is Over. Stanley, tell me how people can reach you and buy this book.
Sure. The simplest way to reach me is to go to www.stanleyporter.net. That's my website. That's www.stanleyporter.net. And you'll find the book. I mean, there's a link that says personal training, and you can scroll down and find the book, or there should be a picture of the book on the homepage, so they can just get it that way.
All right. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
And you stick around. More Public Praise TV after this.
Listen, we got more to come, so get right back.
I honestly grow insecure as I get older. Even when you hot, comes a day when you get colder. Comes a day when you slower, and time is taking its toll. 45 on the back of the jersey upon your soul. I'm scared of letting go. I don't know what the future holds. In my nightmares, I having nightmares. I'm quite scared of what's right and fair, how I fare in eternity. And will I hear well done when he turns to me? Or will I hear you care too much about all this stuff? It really don't matter. You chased the wind and you won and you got to the top of a 2-foot ladder. What's after I can capture all this mess my heart was after? Will I end up empty-handed when I stand before my master? After the show, after the set, after the music stops, what's next? Did I master the mathematics of a passive disaster? Adding my selfish ambition, all the while subtracting what matters. And I'm scared of falling and failing in front of all of my foes. I fear some friends are unfaithful, so I keep my small circle closed. I don't want no handouts or favors, no functional saviors. I'ma tell that truth till it kills me, and I'm chilling with my creator. Jesus, 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 Jesus. To all of my haters, for the ones who think I forgot them, and the ones who won't let me say it, I ain't scared no more. I'm unashamed.
Me Too Music presents Christina Bell. Christina Bell. Christina Bell. New project, Up. Featuring He Is. You're the source of my strength, my peace within, joy inside. Also featuring Faithful and My Cross. My nails and my stripes, you gave it all for me. New project, Half Life, Half Studio, from St. Louis's own. Available now on Google Play Store, iTunes, and Amazon, and all other digital media outlets. Also available at metoomusic.com/Christina. metoomusic.com/Christina. Christina Bell. Christina Bell. Up. Get it now. Get it now.
If I tell you I'm free, hurt and pain ain't got nothing on me. You better ask somebody, this is a brand new me.
And now, here's our artist spotlight.
Hello, Public Praise. This is Big Ruckus, and I'm here with our gospel artist spotlight, Miss Shanell Alyssa. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Now I heard that you came all the way from Connecticut.
I did.
Wow. What part of Connecticut?
Windsor, Connecticut.
Windsor, Connecticut. Windsor, we love you, man. Thank you for allowing her to shout out. There you go. So let's talk more about you. Now, are you considered a what type of gospel artist would you consider yourself to be?
Well, the style of music that I do is really kind of neo-soul, some jazz inspiration, gospel inspiration. So neo-soul, jazz, gospel, in that realm.
Good.
Yeah.
So what would be considered some of your inspirations when it came to this brand of music? What were some inspirations growing up for you?
Well, I grew up really heavily on gospel music. We always had gospel music on in the house. And so that's really kind of my first introduction to music in the most broad sense. In high school and more so in college, I started listening to jazz a lot and really got into that. And I really came to love neo-soul. And I learned the acoustic guitar. So I kind of have this neo-soul, acoustic soul kind of thing going on. Yeah.
Now, a lot of people, they don't take time to learn instruments, especially in the urban communities. What made you want to learn how to play the guitar?
Yeah, well, I started piano lessons when I was 8 years old. My parents forced me and my siblings to take lessons, and out of the three of us, I was the only one who stuck to it. And so it was partly pressure from them and pressure from my teacher, because she kind of beat my sister she kind of reprimanded her for wanting to quit. And so I was like, I don't want to get reprimanded. So I was like, I better just stick with it. So I stuck with the piano. I really came to love it so much.
See?
And yeah, and then I taught myself the guitar in high school.
Sometimes the fear of a parent.
Yes, yes.
will bring a blessing every once in a while, right? That's cool. So let's talk about this your latest project. Let's get what's the name of your latest project?
My latest project is called Whole. It's the Whole EP Part 1. So this is the first part to kind of a 2-part EP introductory kind of series that I got going on, and it's going to be coming out this spring. Okay,
great. So what were your inspirations behind writing this new project?
Well, I started writing the songs in college, and the first song was actually, I wrote it not intending for it to be a part of a project or anything. I actually wrote it for an event that was going on at school, and some of my friends, they knew that I sang, and so they asked if I would write a song for this particular event. And so the song that I wrote ended up being the first song in this project. And the remainder of the songs, I wrote them throughout the rest of college and then afterwards. So the theme of it, I guess it kind of came from me coming to this place of realizing that I guess everyone in life is we're all striving after something in common, and it's kind of that we're all striving after wholeness in our lives. And I just kind of had this revelatory moment in college of kind of coming to understand Christ for myself, after growing up in church for all these years and kind of just going to church because that's what we did and going through all the motions, but never really understanding what that true relationship meant until this point in college. And so around that time is when I started writing all of the songs for the project, and so that's also when the idea kind of came to me.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your passion for ministry and also your passion for the Lord. That's why the reason why we're all doing this here. Yeah. So when did that really begin to be a passion, not just something that your parents just taught to you on a Sunday mornings?
Yeah, it was definitely that point in college where it was almost like an overnight kind of thing where I was just like, the light just
like
came on.
Epiphany, right?
Yeah, it was like, oh wow, this is what Christ did for me and this is what he means to me. And so it's just, from that point on, it's been a process, every day, learning more and growing more in that relationship.
Oh, great. Mm-hmm. So the new album's coming out. I mean, what else has God been doing through your music ministry?
Well, in conjunction with the album, I am crafting a brand that's going to accompany what I'm doing, and the brand is called Rise Above. And that's actually the title of the first song that I wrote when I was mentioning in college. And the song is about essentially everyone can, we have different things in life that are against us, opposition, things and people saying, oh, you can't do this, you can't be this because of whatever reason. But the whole idea is that we can rise above all of those things and we can fulfill the purpose that God has destined within each of us. And so that's just the idea of the brand, is rising above the stigma, rising above everything that says, no, you can't, and reaching that point of fulfillment and purpose.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if my wife was here, she'll ask her signature question. So she's not here today, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. On our show, our motto is proud to proclaim and never ashamed. So Shanell, why are you proud to proclaim and never ashamed?
I am proud to proclaim because I honestly wouldn't be here if it weren't for the love of Christ. And it's become evident to me, just through various things that I faced and trials and things that I probably shouldn't have made it out of, I made it out of. And even just the gifts of song, all of these songs that just kind of have come to me over the past years and have culminated in this project and me pursuing music. Because it's not necessarily something that I have always dreamed of doing. I loved music growing up, but I never really aspired to become a singer or anything like that. And so it's just totally evident that it's God-given, and so I'm definitely giving it back to him.
Indeed, it is God-given.
Yeah.
I mean, your songs are amazing. You remind me of Lisa McClendon and Jonathan McReynolds, and those are really power-packed people that are doing great things in the gospel. And you're right up there. Your music is very amazing, and it touches a lot of people. It has touched me today. So thank you so much for coming to our show today. And don't move a muscle, because Shanell's going to give us a live performance right after this. So don't move a muscle. We have more Public Praise on the way.
Hey everybody, I had such a good time here on Public Praise. If you guys want to check me out and catch me with my upcoming project, upcoming shows, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Shanell Alyssa. I'm also on SoundCloud and YouTube. Catch some music that I've done. I've got some covers, and new music is always on the way. Thanks, guys.
Arose this morning, watched the sun swell to fill the sky. Another day in this brown skin girl of mine. I think of all the good men who fought to set my people free. Yeah, I think today and wonder, now where are we? A young girl coming up, working hard, trying to find a way, yeah. Colorblind to the world, never paid mind to the difference between you and me. Ridiculed by her black friends who said that she sounded too white. Every way she turns, someone's ready to pick a fight. Vision clouded by skin, be you brown or white, all that matters is what's within. We're all my real brothers and sisters. Come on out and help me rise above.
Rise above, rise above.
Rise above the stigma and rise above with love. It only takes a few, me and you can rise above, yeah. And show the world what we're really made of. Whoa. I'm sick of all the talking, everybody's trying to change the world. We all have a choice to make, so let your voice be heard. Stop sitting around with your head hanging down, no, no, no. Get up and make a stand, let the whole world hear your sound. Yeah, 'cause we can do it. Oh, we can do it. Oh. Where are all my real brothers and sisters? Come on out and help me rise above.
Rise above, rise above.
Rise above the stigma and rise above with love. It only takes a few, me and you can rise above. Yeah, yeah. And show the world what we're really made of. Whoa, where are all my real brothers and sisters? Come on out and help me rise above. Yeah, 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 yeah. Rise above the stigma and rise above with love. It only takes a few, me and you can rise above, yeah. And show the world what we're really made of. Oh, it only takes a few, me and you can rise above, yeah. And show the world what we're really made of. Oh.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Public Praise TV. Please make sure that you stay connected with us on our YouTube, our Twitter, Facebook. Make sure you join along for the fun. It's interactive, and we have a new website. Please stay tuned for more of Shanell Alyssa, and we'll be back soon. So see you then.
With a million questions in my head. Crowd surf across the ocean to calm my fears of going under. Out of focus trying to find my way. Crowd surf across the ocean to calm my fears of going under. Out of focus trying to find my way. Can you handle the truth? Do you know it's good for you? You gotta find out before your time is out. Don't let the world burden you. Can you handle the truth? Life's not always as pretty as it looks. Don't let your guard down. Keep your fight alive. Run your race till you make it to the finish line. Open eyes can see wrong. They choose not to respond. Wonder why things always stay the same. Walking around like you've made a change. Don't judge a book till you pick it up and read about the problem and decide if you're gonna do something to fix it, yeah.
Makes good food. Take a slice of his love cause he loves you. You're the apple of his eye and he wants you to know there's nothing in this world that he won't do. He sent his son as a gift to remind you that there's nothing on this earth that can bind you. He'll lead a flock in the field just to find you.